Hey guys, what's up? Just a real quick intro. This is a new little series that we're doing to the Best Coast stuff along with the vlogs. We're going to be doing episodes within the episodes when we can't be in studio. And as you can see, I'm not in studio. I'm actually in London, England right now, overlooking the Thames. I have a good view of the city from here, only it's really cold outside. I wanted to do this episode between the episodes outside on the balcony because it's a really great view. It's just like 28 degrees outside, not Celsius, Fahrenheit. But yeah, here's a new segment to the Best Coast family, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Coming to you pre-tape from my Airbnb in London, England. This is the Best Coast show. In between shows. Yes, that doesn't flow, but we can make it work eventually. Anyways, guys, a little rundown. I'm going to tell you about my trip, why we're here. We're going to talk about Dodgers NLCS, and we're going to talk about the Rams last week debacle against the Lions, and how we may get our ass kicked here in London against the Giants. But first things first, hopped on a plane. I was fortunate enough to be on a plane with a bunch of Dodger fans. I was at LAX as Game 3 was about to start. So Game 3 is about to start. I'm hopping on my plane. The plane has no Wi-Fi. The plane has no Wi-Fi. All the Dodger fans were like, what the fuck is going on? We flew LAX to London via Air New Zealand. So if you're ever on Air New Zealand, they have no Wi-Fi. They have a ton of movies. They have a ton of movies and a ton of TV shows, but they have no Wi-Fi. And the plane food was actually pretty good. I'm not going to hate there, but no Wi-Fi. So everyone just kind of looked at each other like, what the hell are we going to do? And as we were boarding, Toronto was winning their game and ultimately ended up winning to survive in this series. But by the time, which is pretty funny, by the time I landed in London, their next game was already ending because it's a plus 9 hour difference plus a 10-hour flight. So as I was landing, their elimination game was ending, and Cleveland's now going on to the World Series to play the Dodgers. Anyways, so got out of the plane. I was freaking out. I have no Wi-Fi. I'm trying to load up my Wi-Fi. All the other Dodger fans are trying to load up their Wi-Fi, and we have no cell service because we're in the UK. So we looked around the airport until we found a cell phone shop, and inside that cell phone shop we bought new SIM cards, and they're actually pretty cheap. It was $35. It's going to give me 10 gigs of data. Should be more than enough for 8 days that I'm here. I typically use about 40 gigs of data a month, but the 10 gigs that I use that I have should be more than enough while I'm here. So I'm like, okay, what's going to happen? And we ended up winning 6-0 in that game. And I did not get to watch the game. I later watched highlights of the game. It was pretty cool. And luckily, I got to watch parts of Game 4 and 5 because my body's not adjusted to the time zone yet. And the games start at 1 a.m. here. So I was up, It was Game 4. Game 4, we got Julio throwing. Everyone's cool. I'm cool. You're cool. And for whatever reason, the Cubs decided to start hitting. And, man, that game got out of hand pretty quickly. So it was 1 a.m. I stayed up to about 3:30, 4 a.m. our time. It was already 8-1 or 8-2, and I was like, I'm not going to try and stay up at this point. I'm just going to go to bed because I had things to do the next morning. Next day shows up, picked up my Rams and Giants tickets, and got to find a bar that actually had the Dodgers game, because I heard of a bar that had Game 4 because like, oh, all the bars here have all the sports, not the sports that start at 1 a.m. No. So I went, I found this bar, and as I was getting there, they were closing, and I was like, but apparently they do show baseball games when it's like the early Sunday morning baseball game because it's on at like 4 o'clock here. But yeah, so I started watching that game, and where are here it is. Oh yeah, so yeah, that was last night's game. I don't even know what day of the week it is. That totally throws me off. I don't even know what day of the week it is. I was like, wait, yesterday was Friday? No, today is Friday here. Or today's Saturday. I think today's Friday here. I'm not sure. Anyways, so next game comes out, and right off the bat, it's like, they score. I'm okay. It's only 1 run. Come on, Kenta. You can do this. Everybody was freaking out that Kenta was going to be throwing this game. And I was kind of like, it's okay. It's only 1 run. We can do this. And we tie up the game. It's 1-1. We're like, yeah. And then it's 3-1. And we're okay. We're still alive. 3-1. We can still do this. And then, again, the bats from Chicago decide to wake up. And now it's 8-1. Ultimately, you lose 8-4. But you're down 8-1 that late in the game. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning here. I'm going to go to bed. So I went to bed, and right now I'm exhausted because I'm going to bed at 4:30, 4 o'clock in the morning every day, but then having to wake up at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock local time because I have to go out and do stuff. But now we're going back to Chicago. The last time the Cubs had a 3-2 series lead in the NLCS, the whole Bartman thing happened, so I'm hoping that happens again. And, history has a way of repeating itself. They were saying, when the Cubs are in the NLCS and they're tied 1-1, they've lost every series that they've been in that way. So, again, Kershaw goes out there for Game 6, mows him down. The offense needs to do something. Let's not pitch to Baez because he's like their Daniel Murphy. So let's not pitch to Baez. And Game 7, we're chill. He's going to go out there. He's going to smoke these guys. We're going to play the Cleveland Indians. And this conspiracy that Major League Baseball and Fox are trying to get the Cubs into the World Series because it would be a ratings bonanza is going to go down the toilet because the Dodgers are a better team. Probably not. Obviously we're homers. On paper, you would say that, hey, just about every all-star on the Cubs team is an MVP candidate. But whatever. Doesn't matter. We're going out there in Game 6. Kershaw's throwing. I have all the confidence in the world in Kershaw. Let's keep the Billy Curse alive. I don't know. We got to we got to throw that juju on them. And then what? I keep forgetting that group's name, Patreon 24 or 54. Those guys are awesome. Rich Hill talked about them and how they invaded New York and how that kind of turns an away game into a home game for the Dodgers and how that's really important. So I don't know. Maybe those guys are going to be going to Chicago and invading for Game 6 and Game 7. They're just going to take over Wrigley Field. And if you are awesome, if you know these guys, go with them. I'm going to be in London throughout this whole thing. So the anxiety is kind of high right now because these games are happening really late at night. So it's like anticipation, and then you're just kind of okay, adrenaline's pumping because we're tied. We're down by 7 runs. And then you just start getting sleepy and knock out, and you wake up hoping something changed, and the only thing that changed is that the Cubs score more runs. But let's go Kershaw. That's what we need to do. We got to get Kershaw to win this for us. Moving on. So we lost to the Detroit Lions last week, 31-28. It was the best game of Case Keenum's career, and the defense, man. The defense was supposed to be the anchor, the whole, hey, this is the reason why the Rams are going to win 10 games, which we still can. That's my bold prediction. But we're 3-3. We give up 4 touchdowns in the air. The secondary has been getting shredded. Stafford threw for 260 yards. And then, was it Golden Tate? Who was it? I think it was Golden Tate. I'm not even sure. Let me look at this. Yeah, it was Golden Tate. Golden Tate had 165 yards. It's guys, come on. They have one receiver. Megatron's not here anymore. Why aren't you covering him? But our secondary's been getting shredded. They got shredded against the Cardinals as well. And now we're playing the Giants, who are the 3rd best passing team in the league. And don't be fooled by the Giants 3-3. The Giants 3-3, they've had a tough schedule. I mean, they beat the Cowboys. And the only easy game on their schedule, I would say, was New Orleans, because they played Baltimore, they played Washington, who they lost to, and the Giants are sneaky good. They're under the radar good. And given that our secondary sucks, and they're one of the better passing teams in the league, but it's okay because actually the time zone difference isn't much for them. They're in New York. New York is -6 of London. Meanwhile, Los Angeles is -8. No, they're minus. I'm +8 of LA right now. New York is +3 of us. So New York is -5 of London. So, and believe me, jet lag's a thing, especially if you're going to be playing in a game where you're going to try to kill someone, someone's trying to kill you. I've been here for 2 full days now, and I'm totally feeling it because you need to adjust to the time zone. And you're like, well, why the fuck's the game in London? Well, the NFL states that if you want to be a city that hosts the NFL's Super Bowl, you have to give up a home game, and it has to be in London. And because the Rams have the 2020 Super Bowl, this is the home game they're giving up. That's how they decide who's going to be the home team. And it's pretty funny because as I was getting here, I was going through customs. Oh, and by the way, this is total bullshit. When I was at LAX, getting through customs at LAX and boarding my plane and getting through TSA and doing all the security took 5 fucking minutes. 5 fucking minutes. But if I'm going from LA to San Francisco or LA to Las Vegas, it takes me an hour and a half. How does that make any sense? That doesn't make any sense. But whatever. When I landed in London, I landed in Heathrow, got off the plane, got together with all the other Dodger fans. We're excited that we won 6-0. And as we're going through customs here, the guy's like, "So why are you here?" I was like, "Oh, just going to the Rams-Giants game." "Oh, that's really cool. Are the Packers ever going to come here?" I was like, "God, no. The Packers are never going to come here." And the reason is because Lambeau Field has their home games and their season tickets sold out for like the next 2 generations of NFL fans, and you have to give up a home game. Plus, the NFL is never going to put a Super Bowl in Lambeau. I mean, it's going to be like -12. Like, why would you do that? But would the Packers come out here as an away team? Possibly. But for whatever reason, English people are like, they gravitate towards the Packers. I went to go pick up my tickets today at the StubHub place, and the 2 guys were Bears fans and Ravens fans. So it's really crazy the level of commitment these people have, because the Monday Night Football game for them starts at midnight. You know, these guys are telling me that they root for the Chicago Bulls, and Bulls games for them are apparently starting at 1 a.m. And it's like, wow, that sucks, man. But yeah, that's the level of commitment they have, and the people of London love football. Like, they are all about it. And, you know, I'm walking around, and I've been seeing a bunch of Dodger hats out here, which I thought was pretty funny, because only the people that I met at the airport who were wearing Dodger hats or Rams gear are from Los Angeles. The people that I met out here wearing said gear are British. And I walked into like a little kiosk liquor store type of deal as I was walking down the street, and the guy had a Dodger hat on. And I was like, "All right, go Dodgers." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "You're wearing a Dodger hat." "What?" I go, "Your hat. It's blue. It says LA. It's got the LA logo. That's a Dodger hat. Go Dodgers." "You sound funny." I go, "I don't sound funny. You sound funny." He goes, "Well, you don't sound like you're from around here." I'm like, "No, but you're the one that sounds funny. I don't sound funny. I enunciate when I talk. And you're also wearing a Dodgers hat, so I assume you at least knew what it was. And given that I'm from Los Angeles and the hat's from Los Angeles, the one speaking funny in this situation is you, sir." And he goes, "No, mate, you're speaking funny because your accent is not local to this area." And I said, "All right, you know what? You got a point." But yeah, English people have been actually super nice. And then once they find out that I'm from LA and that they like, "Oh, you're here for the football game," they just have a ton of questions to ask you about football. The first thing they do is ask you if you're voting for Hillary or Trump. And I'm just like, I don't know, I'm here for a football game. Like, I really don't care about the politics of the country. But apparently they're super caught up in the politics of our country at the moment, because we have, like, what was it? It was the douchebag and the shit sandwich as the candidates. But everyone's, like, really excited that the NFL is here, and they're like, "Oh, you know, like, when are the Packers going to come here? When are the Raiders going to come here?" And I was like, well, the Raiders are going to be in Mexico City. You know, this week it's going to be Rams and Giants. And like I told you guys, the Giants have the 3rd best passing team in the league. We have a really awful secondary. The Giants are sneaky good. I mean, Case Keenum threw the best game of his career last week, and we still lose 31-28. I mean, at least our kicker didn't physically abuse and mentally abuse his wife. I mean, the Rams got that going for them right now, because that's a story that just broke a couple of hours ago, how their kicker, I don't even know his name. What's his name? Giants kicker, Josh Brown. Who knows kickers' names? Janikowski and Vinatieri are the only kickers' names that I know. So Josh Brown, he admits to abusing his wife. Apparently he was in counseling, and he signed a document saying that I need to change. Oh, his ex-wife. I need to change, and I physically and emotionally abused her and made her feel less than human. And somehow that document got out. So now, you know, the NFL's investigating this guy. And good, because we don't need that kind of garbage. Granted, the NFL is probably just going to look the other way. They're going to be like, "Are you making money for us? Okay, perfect. Yeah, we don't care about people who commit crimes and domestic violence and stuff, because we're the NFL." Because that's just the way they do things. So, and it's funny too, because there's a lot of like racial things in how the NFL does things and how people think they do things or whatever. And you know, he's a kicker, so he is, Josh Brown, a white guy. So we'll see how that plays in. But yeah, it's like the Giants are scary good. They're 3-3, we're 3-3, but we've lost 2 games in a row. Todd Gurley, 75 yards on 12 carries? Or no, he had less than that. What did you have, Todd? Last week, 58 yards on 14 carries. I mean, we had a total of 76 yards on 22 carries. Our offensive line needs to do something. I mean, Keenum got sacked only once for a loss of 10 yards, but then we go back to the penalties. We have 8 penalties last week, and that cost us. We had 1 turnover. That cost us. The Lions had 0 turnovers. That helped them. You lose this game 31-28, and you're like, fuck, man. One mistake that doesn't go here as opposed to there, or you take back this penalty, and suddenly, I mean, they did really well in the red zone, and their third down conversion rate was the best it's been all year. But our offense, like our offensive coordinator and Jeff Fisher, they're the least creative guys when it comes to building an offense. And I think we've talked about this already because it's like short pass, hand off the ball, it's 3rd and long, we'll throw another pass, it's going to be incomplete, we're going to punt on 4th down. And we had 8 series, but I mean, the offense is getting progressively better week for week. Are we ever going to see Goff play? I don't know. But the offense is getting better week to week. It's just the secondary is killing us, man. The secondary is just why we're not winning games. I mean, turnovers are going to happen. You know, turnovers, you might have a really good week where you have 0 or 1. It may or may not cost you. You'll have bad weeks where, shit, you could have 4. But the defensive backs constantly giving up that big play, constantly leaving their number 1 receiver open. That's what's been burning us week after week. So hopefully the Rams can get something together. Being that this is an episode between the episodes, no gift of the day, no random Ram. I did give you a random Giant who apparently abused his ex-wife. I'm vlogging the entire trip, so you guys are going to see that stuff and what's going on. I don't know. I had tea today. Oh, yeah. Okay, so you're probably wondering why the hell I'm in a suit. Okay, so I went out for tea today at some fancy schmancy hotel, and you have to dress up, otherwise they won't let you in. And a lot of places have dress codes here. Just random bars have dress codes, random restaurants have dress codes, and not even fancy schmancy ones, just regular run-of-the-mill ones. Like if you're wearing something that has sports paraphernalia, or a hoodie, or a hat, if you're wearing tennis shoes, it's like, sorry, bro, you can't come in. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So anyways, I went and had fancy schmancy tea. So I was walking around with this, and I was walking around with my camera bag. But my camera bag looks like a satchel type of suitcase thingy. And people were like, "Oh, good morning, how are you?" And I would respond, but they would see that my accent was American, and then immediately were like, "Oh, like, do you work at the embassy?" And I'm like, "No." So I think at some point I'm gonna roll with it and tell them that I do work at the embassy, and like try not to go too far with that because I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Yeah. I also saw a movie here. What did I watch here? I was watching, the new Tom Cruise movie, Reacher. The movie was okay, but what I thought was really, really, really weird is that they keep the lights on in the movie theater while you're watching the movie. Extremely distracting. But the food's great. The people have been really awesome. The weather, it has not rained on me yet, but it's really fucking cold. If you guys want to just follow throughout, follow me on Snapchat, follow me on the Twitter. I'm updating the Snapchat throughout the day, but that's been our show between the shows, and you guys have a good night. Oh, no, you guys have a good morning. All right.